Hello everybody and welcome back to our live stream from UK Games Expo 2019. I am joined by the guys from Medusa Games. This is Gian and Richard, and we're doing a let's play of Magnificent Flying Machines. Guys,
okay.
Welcome.
Thank you. So, Magnificent Flying Machines, it's a race, but it's not just a race. As in, if you just rush to the end of the course, you're highly unlikely to win. Why is that? Because it's all about getting points for different things. As those early races, it wasn't just about speed either. I mean, getting to the end of the course was quite a thing in itself.
That's an achievement.
So, one particular game we had where they had 30-odd planes, and only 4 of them got to the end, and one got in 2 weeks after the other 2. And the other thing about it was that it wasn't just about the speed, it was also, you know, there were prizes for the best painted plane, how many of the original bits of the plane made it to the end, they'd mark them. So they'd mark them at the beginning, and then if you managed to get the same bits without having to change them along the way, that would also get you points. And there were also prizes for picking up passengers, and we have passengers here, and so on. First person to take somebody to Manchester, that was a prize in one race. Interesting idea. So we have cargo to collect. We can do trick manoeuvres in the air to get points. We can pick up points on the middle airfield so that hits stages like the Tour de France. All of that as well. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start the game and play. I'll start, and then Richard, and then you. So by the time we get there,
I'm going to start.
Okay, you're starting. Right. He's going to start, and then we'll just do it as we go.
Shall we introduce our pilots?
Indeed, yes.
Our magnificent.
So I am Oberst Andre Schneider. You see that on the thing? Or shall I pop it over there?
Yes, pop it over there for me.
Okay, so here's our chap here.
And he looks very efficient.
Very efficient, and in fact gets lots of bonuses for taking off and landing. He's actually a thing called the Safe Pair of Hands pilot.
Very cool.
That's Oberst Andre Schneider.
You have my one?
Which is also the name, by the way, of the artist of the game, who looks very much like that.
I love little nods like that.
You're Hamish MacTarn, who's the Scottish pilot, and he gets bonuses whenever he drops off cargo.
Excellent.
So you want to do some landings, you've got some to start with, and see if you can get some bonus points that way.
Of course, why not?
Yeah.
And then we have Amelia Skyfoot, who I'm playing today.
Yep. And she gets bonuses basically for flying along. She's the best pilot in the game, actually.
I see.
People say, why have we got so many women pilots in the game? Is that just political correctness? Well, no, actually the first flying school in England was run by a French woman.
Really?
So there were a lot of pilots in the early years, because it was a rich man's sport or a rich woman's sport, really.
Of course.
And so quite a lot of people have quite a variety of places.
Right, you know, there's something to be said for being eccentric and going, I like that flying thingy there, I'm going to have a go at that.
Absolutely.
So while we're looking at what we've got, I'm the monoplane here, which is the fastest machine, actually, but its problems are that it's got a limited amount of space on the thing, and it's a bit more fragile, so landing can be a bit more hazardous.
And so we've given it some equipment to balance it up. When you first get the game out of the box, there's 19 different pilots, 6 different flying machines, lots of spare parts. So we do a setup starter which balances things out so that if you chose any of those first game out the box, you'd have a decent chance of winning. But after that,
So here we've got these. So my extra bits here, I've got armour plating, which means it's going to be more to reinforce, to help with the fact that I'm a bit more fragile when I land. Going to help me not take damage as often, hopefully. Universal spare parts, because I might well need a few spare parts and things.
Of course.
And a passenger seat, because I've not got hardly any space on the thing, so I've strapped on an extra seat behind.
So you just put a sling in beneath.
Yeah, something like that.
Because they don't like standing up on the wing, I don't know why. My flying machine is actually a helicopter. Now there were early helicopters. They were quite good at taking off and landing. They were fairly rubbish at flying along. So again, that's why I have a pilot who is particularly good at flying, that gives me some extra flying abilities. And then what you've got the biplane.
Yes.
So the biplane is a good all-round plane. It's particularly good at landing, and it's got a lot of cargo space.
Yes.
So you're going to want to be taking lots of passengers and cargo with you, because you're not going to be rushing along to the end and doing lots of loop-the-loops along the way.
I also have some gear on this one. So I have a finely tuned engine which increases my ability to take off.
Yeah.
I have a drop of courage, which is basically allowing me to buy extra dice by spending this whenever I'm doing tests. And then I have goggles which say -1 to weather. Does that mean I can ignore one of the weather effects?
Indeed.
So yes, so whenever you do anything on the game, you have the terrain difficulty and then the weather difficulty. We always start them facing good weather.
Yep.
So here, but the next square along, it's a bit windy. So normally to take off on a field square, it would need 2 takeoff symbols. Because it's so windy, it actually needs 3. But with your goggles, you still only need 2.
I see.
It just knocks off one of those weather symbols.
And can I choose any one of the weather symbols, or does it have to be the first
Well, there's only one
row?
weather symbol will apply to any given test. So
I see.
you would ignore one symbol on each test, basically.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
So
very
if
useful.
so if it's adding +3 to your takeoff, it would only add +2.
Yes.
I see. Okay, super simple. Right, Richard.
Yeah,
would you like to
shall
start
I
us?
get going then?
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
So I've got the monoplane here. We're trying to take off from the airfield.
So
I only
here.
need one symbol there to take off.
You had us in the air.
I have 5 dice to roll here. This is shown on my dashboard here.
Yes, yes.
So I roll the dice. I get 5, and I've got 3. Now I've also got one of these little explosion symbols, which would be bad news if I'd failed this test.
Right.
But I haven't failed the test, so I'm good to go basically. So I go up into the lowest altitude band. Now at this point in time, I have a few choices. I'll just pop that there. I don't know if that's
Yep,
visible.
should be able to see that, yep.
So I've taken off and I passed the test. So that's the end of the phase. So for my second phase in the turn, and we have 2 phases in a turn, I've got a choice of either landing again, but it seems a bit pointless
Yep.
for the moment, or I can fly on, do a trick manoeuvre, or gain altitude. So I'm going to fly on, try and get moved down the course a little bit.
And so now you're looking for the blue symbols on the dice. then?
Yeah. So 2 symbols,
And because it's a monoplane, he's got 6 dice to roll, because monoplanes are really fast.
really
Yeah.
fast. So I'm rolling the dice, and I've got three symbols. So I'm
That's
sufficient.
fine. So
on
you move one down the course.
On I move.
You going to carry on?
Yeah, I'm going to carry on. So if you look at the result here on the screen, on the sheet here, I was flying on. I passed the test. So down here it says move to next tile, discard a dice. So I put 1 dice to the side there. Repeat, do trick manoeuvre, or phase ends. So I'm going to repeat at this point. I'm going to give another go, but with less dice. Okay. Now I look at where I am.
And we've also got the weather's flipping over for the next one.
So
Yes,
we
you
can
also
see
So
what's
we
coming
can
a
now
little bit.
see what's coming. So on this square, to fly through it, it would have been 2. It's now 3 because of the weather.
But I think I'm fairly confident. You know, we're going to give it a go. And I'm fine. I've got 4 symbols so far, so good.
Okay. Are you going again?
No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a trick manoeuvre. So I'm discarding a dice because that was the result of the past test.
Yep.
So now what it says is do trick manoeuvre. So I'm moving down to the do a trick manoeuvre column here, and the outcome depends on the result of a flying test. So I'm looking at the same difficulty, which is I've now got 4 to do, haven't I? No, I've got 3. I've got 3 because I'm over this town.
Okay, if we pause for a second,
Yeah.
I think we've done something wrong.
Okay.
So you did a repeat, and now you're doing a trick maneuver.
Right, because if you look at the fly on, I can move to next tile, discard 1 dice, repeat, do trick manoeuvre, or phase ends.
Any of those
And you can
alternatives.
toggle between the fly on and the do trick manoeuvres. But while I'm doing this, I'm losing dice.
Yeah,
Now-
but you then moved on, you repeated it,
Yep.
and now you're doing a trick maneuver.
Right,
That's
so
fine.
Okay,
I've done
so
2
you're-
fly-ons.
Yeah, okay.
And now I'm going to go on to I'm going to do a trick manoeuvre.
Gotcha.
But with only 4 dice because I've done 2
But
things
you see,
already.
you'd only start with 4 dice, so by this point you'd be down to 2, so you couldn't do this much.
But I'm going to give it a go, and I'm going to try and show off to the crowds over this town.
Do you think?
So I need 3, and I've got 3. Only
Nice.
just good enough, but that's sufficient.
So now
So-
you get some extra victory points for having had a
So
successful
here we say
trick
successful
manoeuvre.
manoeuvre, take 2 victory points. I'll take my 2 victory points. I'm going to pop down there. And discard 2 dice. When you do trick manoeuvres, you're losing 2 dice.
Yep.
And now I'm down to 2. So at this point, if I was going to attempt to do another trick manoeuvre, which I could do, I would be down 2 dice trying to get 3, so it's starting to become more risky.
bit chancy.
But
But
once
it's still possible
It's still
because there are
possible.
2 flying machine symbols on one side of the dice.
or I could maybe try and fly on,
So
but
risk it for a biscuit.
but I'm not going to risk it because I'm looking at that space that I'm on. If you look at the bottom
which
of there,
needs
which is
3 flying symbols.
right, but I'm also looking at what's there. And on the ground there, there's a cargo that
yes,
wants to be delivered to a mountain space. So shall we? I'll show that. I can put it in view here. Do you want me to?
Yeah, sure.
So this is a cargo that wants to be delivered to a mountain space. I've got one at the start of the game.
So he's got to land in the mountains at some point
At some
anyway,
point.
so he may as well pick up another mountain cargo
And get
and then
2 for
do
the price of
for-
1, as it were. Okay.
See.
So I'm looking at that thinking, well, I'm going to land there, so I'm going to do a land. Now, I can't do it this turn because I've got 2 phases in my turn. I've taken off and I've flown along. Yeah? So I'm going to choose to end my turn. But before I do that, I have to just check to see what my fuel use is. So if we look at this little bottom of the fuel chart, let's see if it's in view. I think it is just there, here. The fuel rules.
Yep.
So basically, you can just fly along 1 space a turn without using any additional fuel. This is additional fuel to get you quicker. But once you go more than 1 space a turn, you start using fuel.
And I've gone 2 spaces.
So you've used 2 fuel.
So I'm burning 2 fuel. Okay, so I just plop them to the side there.
And then the end of the turn, the last thing you do is draw a card.
And I discard down to 3. Okay. Now we haven't shown these cards yet. We'll show them as we decide to play them. But I'm having a quick look at them, and I'm thinking what ones I want to keep. So I'm staggering to myself because I think there's a nice little naughty card here that I might just keep, try and use on someone at some point. So I think I'll keep that one.
I'm starting to have a look at my cards now. I know here.
And I think I'm going to discard this card here. This one gives me bonuses for when I do take off and landing on water spaces. And actually, I'm thinking of landing on a mountain space in a minute. So I may not be bothering with water landing. So I'm going to just discard that one. And that's my turn done.
Okay. So now it's my turn. So the first thing I need to do is take off. And I'm in a helicopter. And helicopters are good at taking off and landing. And they're even better because I said that the difficulty is to do with the terrain and then the weather. And in a helicopter, the terrain can never be more than 2 in difficulty. So, mountain rescue, it's a helicopter goes straight in, up and down. So it's just easier. So that side of things. So I need to take off. I'm on the airfield, so it's only 1 anyway. I've got 5 dice. This shouldn't be a problem. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Yes, then no problem.
Take off. So you are in the red.
That's right.
There you go.
And now I am going to fly on 1 square. And so for that, I have 5 dice as well. So the helicopter would only have had 3. It's not very good at flying, but the pilot gives me 5 dice. And again, that's fine. So I got an explosion, but the explosion doesn't matter because I got enough to fly on anyway. If I hadn't got enough, then things would happen, and we'll cross that bridge when it arrives.
So you're in your next area?
I am. And looking ahead, the weather and so on is not that good further on. But this square, I think I might just stay where I am, and I'm going to land next turn and pick up some of that stuff.
Okay. So you'll lose 1 dice from your 5 now, and you could toggle to a trick maneuver on 4.
I could.
Would it be worth doing?
I'm not going to. I think I'll leave it be for now.
Okay. In that case, I will begin my turn. So I will get...
I just need a card first.
Oh, yes.
So I'll just take that, and I'll be sorting those through while you start off.
Okay. So, when can I play the cards from my hand?
You can play, generally speaking, most of the cards are beneficial to you, and you'll generally play them on your own turn, apart from certain ones that defend you when other people attack you. But the other ones are dirty trick cards, and they can be played at any time you wish.
I see. In that case, there's no point in playing this one because you both are about to land.
Right.
So I think I'm going to save that.
You're going to hold that for the relevant moment.
Yes. However, I think I'm going to play Engine Booster. So roll 1 additional dice for all flying tests this phase.
Okay. So first you need to take off, and then when you get to, assuming you do that successfully, you can play that in the flying phase.
I see.
But hang on to it, because if actually you can't get off the ground, then obviously...
No point. Okay, so 4 dice for me, looking for 1 green.
Yep.
Not a problem. Just about actually. The rest is all fly along. He's in a hurry. So I fly up.
That's it.
And now I will play this card.
So you would normally have 4 dice for flying this turn, but instead you're going to have 5.
So I will attempt to fly along. So let's see what I do here. Oh yes, very easily.
Okay.
I got 2 booms.
But that's fine.
They don't affect me because I got enough to fly on. Yes?
That's fine.
No, but it will go badly wrong at some point for one of us. So
I will lose that. And now I have 4 dice, and I only need 3 successes to do a trick. So I think I'm actually going to try and do a trick. I'm going to risk it for a biscuit. No, that's fine. So let's give this a go. And I get 2.
And you
needed 3. So what can you do about that? various
because
things.
My
the goggles.
-1, I only need 2.
Indeed,
yeah,
yes.
so there we go.
So,
2 victory points for me, if you please.
indeed, there we are. That's 2 points for you. Okay,
And you just pop them in there.
just pop them in there. Yeah.
There we go. I now lose 2 of these dice.
You
I'm
do.
on to. I am not risking that again. Fly responsibly, kids.
And there we go. That's your card.
Thank
And
you.
because you used a card, you don't have to discard. You can keep all 3.
Exactly.
Right, so it gets back to me. Now, when it gets back to first player, every turn you have to check the weather to see if the weather changes. So I've got all these weather cards here, which we'll turn over, and we find it says westerly wind. So what's actually happening is it's going like that down the course, which means everything's moving towards me down the course here.
So this will go along to there.
Yeah. We don't particularly have to move the
Go
ones that
along
haven't
to
been
there.
turned over yet, because it doesn't make much difference. And there's a new one to deal in there.
I see.
And why are we bothering with one there? Because there are a couple of dirty trick cards called Swap the Maps, when you can actually make people fly
Turn them over.
backwards.
Yeah.
I see. And if we have that continuing to blow them along, we need something to actually
Yes.
show what's coming behind us now, because
Yeah.
we're actually seeing a 3-dimensional motion of the weather.
Yes, it's given us an idea. Right, I'm just going to grab some of these dice,
Not a
because
problem.
I'm going to try for that landing I was contemplating last turn. Now, if I look at things, it's a bit windy there, so it's increasing
Yeah.
the difficulty
so
of
you'll
landing.
Need 4.
4.
So I'm needing 4. I've got 4. So as I say, the monoplane. Normally the monoplane only has 2 because it's quite fragile. But just to make life a bit easier for us, we put a pilot in here that's hopefully going to get me down nice and safe. Yeah. So let's see. And I've got 1, 2. I've got 5 or so here.
So that's fine, you've landed.
Now let's look at what happens. So if we look at the card here, can you see that? We've got landing is down at the bottom here. I'll
Yes,
just
sir.
move that along there a minute. Okay, land. So I passed the test. I'm looking in this box here. Yeah. So land safely. I
So-
take the first to land marker if it's available.
So he's the first person there. They've all rushed out and applauded and so on.
Impressed everybody. You only get those if you land safely. Bumpy landings,
Crash landings are
landings.
not impressive. Yes.
No?
Well, I don't know. I've seen YouTube videos.
Take the first landing, and then I take a fuel cube. You get a fuel cube back for free if you do a safe landing.
Nice.
Someone comes out with some fuel and chucks it into your fly machine.
So Jerry can for the Jerry.
And that's the end of the phase. Now, when you're on the ground, you can always both deliver cargo and passengers that you've got for free. No time, it doesn't take any phase, and or collect them. And when I collect them, I can collect up to 2 things. So actually, I'm going to take that mountain cargo that I was thinking about earlier.
Okay.
Now, I've got only 4 spaces that I can put things in here, okay, inside my fly machine. I've got the internal space, which is inside the hull. That's available to me in flight, and this stuff's strapped to the wings, okay? And these spare parts aren't any use while you're in flight, but they're available to swap round when you're on the ground. But actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck away that spare part and drop in the extra cargo.
So you can chuck away spare parts. What you can't do is chuck away passengers or cargo.
Yes.
I
Because
see.
obviously people object
But
to that.
I'm looking at that passenger, and I've got this here passenger seat, which we strapped onto the back of the fly machine at the start of the game. So I'm going to
Do the passengers take up 2 slots within your?
internal space. So the
Ah,
problem
so
I've got
has
is
to be
in my
internal
fly
space.
machine here,
Yes.
they would take up the
Entire.
internal space. I would have no available spare parts to help me
see.
in case of disaster. So what I will do is I will drop it instead into my additional bit of equipment there, which is the passenger
Jump
seat.
seat strapped on the
Exactly.
back of the wing.
So he's in there now. So
Yep.
now I'm gonna go for a takeoff. And
So
get back
on
into
the ground,
air.
you've got 2 choices. You can do a takeoff, or you could do a repair and scavenge, refuel, get more spare parts. But basically, you're fairly stopped.
I'm fairly
anyway.
good. I'm down 1 fuel, but I don't want to use a phase of the game at this stage. I want to
Still
push.
nice and
push
early,
on.
yeah.
So I'm going to go for my takeoff, for which I get 5 dice, and I have got 3 symbols, and I
You
need
need 3.
3, so that's good enough. So I'm in the air.
Yep.
End of the phase. So I take a card and discard.
Okay.
So that's the end of your turn. So I am planning on landing on that square there. So to land, I need 2 landing symbols, and I have got 5 dice.
Now I'm actually going to play my dirty trick now on you, Richard.
Okay.
It's called Sugar in the Tank.
All right. Okay.
So this is an airborne flying machine. Rolls 2 less dice for all flying tests until it lands.
Right,
So
so if
because
I
you
take that,
just
just,
took off.
Yep. So that means from now, basically, until I land, that is a penalty to me.
Yes,
as it were.
and
So
because you are the fastest, that should slow you down and let us catch up a
hoping
little.
to appease me a bit. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so I'm going to Right, so I have enough to land. So I am down safely. And the helicopter, the big thing about the helicopter is you haven't got any internal, external storage, it's all internal. So that means you can put passengers and people wherever you like. So I am going to discard those 2 landing spare parts and take that passenger. And I'm going to discard the takeoff spare part.
You
and
also
take
get the first to land
I
marker.
do indeed, yes. And I'm also going to take a cargo, and I also already have a mountain, so I'll take another mountain. So these, you get a lot of points with these if you successfully land them in the right place, but they're -1 at the end of the game if you didn't manage to land in the right place.
I see.
Because people aren't happy, you know,
You've delivered.
they give you the parcel, you've lost it, you haven't taken it where you were supposed to. So, so that's me. I don't need to refuel because I'd only moved 1 square so far, so I've still got all of my fuel. So now I'm going to try and take off. So that's 5 dice again. And that's no problem, I'm in the air.
Okay. Your
Now I
turn
get
is
a
over.
card?
I just need your card.
I do.
Indeed.
Okay, so my turn then. Now that you've pointed out how much the cargo is worth, I am very tempted to actually drop down and grab that extra little urban piece of cargo
That's
there.
right. And that's going to want to go to a town, of which there are 2 on the board.
So I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. So could I get 1 extra dice, please? Because I will try to land.
Yep, there we go.
Thank you. So I need 2 to land. This should be quite simple. It is. I will land myself. I will take the cargo and I will drop an airframe repair token, the blue one. I will then try to take off again. I only need 2.
That's actually a flying symbol you've thrown away there.
Ah.
So is that what you wanted to throw away, or would you rather throw away a takeoff or a landing symbol?
Honestly, as much of a muchness, the most I have is the flying symbol. So I think I'm safest dropping it.
Okay.
So from there, I will take off again. And easy peasy. I am up.
And you're done.
Fantastic.
And that's your card.
And again, because you've used one, you don't have to throw any away.
So we check the weather. The weather has gone back the other way. So everything,
Great. So there we are.
when you change
Let's take that
direction,
one
it goes
off.
back the other way.
I see. So everything shimmies back the way there.
Yeah, and then we sort of we turn that one over, don't we? But we
Yeah.
we just
Well,
put
no,
that
because
away.
nobody's there actually.
Are you right?
Yeah, no one there yet.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. Right. So I'm currently in the air over this town. I'm eyeing up the mountain up ahead where I want to make some deliveries. So I think I'm going to try and push on to there.
And remembering you've got the sugar in the tank.
I do have the
so
sugar in
you've
the tank, so I'm down to 5 dice. That's
It's
If only
2
my
less
tassels long enough
dice
to
for all
twirl
flying
easily.
tests. So you're down to
dear
4
me, down to
dice.
4. Okay, well, we'll what can we do? So the weather we're at the moment, I'm needing 3. So I'm going to just push on with that, I think. I could have considered gaining altitude, which is an option, which would allow me to take up to the top altitude band. That gives me effectively 2 flying symbols towards any tests that I need. And also I fly over the weather, so I ignore the weather.
I see.
So we have a lightning storm at some point. I may well do that, but at the moment it's not too bad, and I'm needing 3.
No, it's
so
a little bit chilly.
I'm feeling okay about that. However, I've only got 2 symbols there. So what I'm going to need to do is to trying to get to 3. I can either accept the inevitable, which would just end the phase.
Because he hasn't had a catastrophic failure, there's no explosions, he's just failed. So he's just stuttering along, not going as quickly as he wanted to.
So my options at this point would be to play a card with one of these symbols at the bottom, just like that, which I can throw away that. Instead of using the text on the card, I can use the symbol. Or I can use spare parts. Now, in fact, I don't have a flying spare part in my internal space, but what I do have is these universal spare parts. So these can count as anything, so I'm going to burn one of these universal spare parts, like that, which gets me sufficiently over the wire to move on. Let's check the weather in there, Matt. Oh, nice and sunny over that mountain, so I'm going to move on anyway. Still need 3 symbols, but off 3 dice. Yeah.
Yes.
And I've only got, oh, no, there's my 3. I'm okay.
So you move
So I've got to the mountain, and I think at that stage I'm going to go for a landing.
Yeah.
Okay. So my landing in them is 4, and I have 4 dice. Okay.
While you...
Curses. Well, it's not a flying test.
It's a landing test.
Yes.
I only have 4 because the monoplane's not as good as you two, because it's more fragile, lighter sort of airframe and everything. Well, that's not good, is it?
So show those under the.
Shall we show those? Because that's pretty bad. I have no
damage.
landing symbols at all. I need to get 4 from somewhere. What can I do? Well, I've got a spare part. I've got a spare part here, so I could throw away the spare part. What I'm going to do to get over things, because I really don't want to crash into this mountain if I can avoid it. So I'm going to have to pull all sorts of resources to get over the wire. So I'm going to be using a spare part, a card with a matching symbol at the bottom, and 2 cubes off my universal spare parts to get to 4. So a lot of resources needed there.
Expensive.
So you've now finally managed.
But I managed to land.
Except for the fact that I play a dirty trick on you, which is loosen the wheel. So actually, I'd already undone the nuts on the wheel, so although he thought he managed to save the landing, he still catastrophically failed it.
And there we are. So what that means, let's have a look at what that means on this on the little chart here.
Pull it towards you a little.
Towards me, yeah.
Yeah,
and just to say, that dirty trick I played, some people really don't like games with dirty tricks. We do have a set of rules where you remove those cards, remove a few pieces of equipment like the shotgun we've got here and so on, and don't do those sorts of things to people. But for now, we're just going to play it.
Where's the fun in that?
Kind of thing. It's just like,
exactly.
Or you're sat there going, curses.
I have failed my landing test. In fact, I've catastrophically failed my landing test.
Yes.
So what do? Crash landing. I take 2 damage markers. So these are these things here.
Yeah.
They're going to go over my fuel gauge. You drop them on from full to empty. We've still got 2. It's the whole lot. So so that's a big problem. These are -1 victory points at the end of the game unless I do something about it, and there are ways of dealing with it. And that would end my phase. I don't get the first to land marker because I've not convinced anybody. I've just landed. I've crashed into the mountain. So I haven't landed.
You basically bellied it into a haystack.
That's the thing, and I've not even got any extra fuel coming back, which you would normally get. So now that's
the second part of your turn.
That's the second part of my turn. However, I can deliver my mountain cargo.
Yes.
Get somebody to sign for it.
And the passenger really regrets the fact he's taken a flight with you.
I've still got him, and he's strapped in. He can't go anywhere.
I just see your pilot walking up, mustache askew to a farmhouse.
That turn, I went 2 spaces.
Yeah.
So I've got. it doesn't matter. I've got any fuel left anyway. I normally never used to. I take my card. That's the end of my turn, and I just sit on the ground contemplating life.
Okay. So now I'm over here in the helicopter, and I also have mountain cargoes I wanted to deliver, and so I wanted those first to land points, which was why I played that dirty trick in the hopes I would get there and do all of that.
Okay.
So,
well, just to make life a little bit more difficult for you in the spirit of vengeance, I'm going to play this dirty trick called the wrong parts, which means I can change any 2 spare parts on a flying machine. So what we'll do is we'll change those flying ones, which you may well be needing, for landing ones, which you don't really particularly need, just to make it a little bit more difficult. So
okay, fair enough.
Yep.
So I am now flying along. 5 to fly. Yes, that's good. I've got loads of that. So I've gone 1 space. Now I'm going to fly along with 4 to fly, and I need
4 symbols.
I need 3 symbols because the flying symbols are the little planes.
Oh yes, sorry, I was looking at the takeoffs. Oh, fail.
I've got 2, but that's not a catastrophic failure, and I have a lucky locket. So what I can do with this is I can use a charge on it in order to re-roll as many of the dice as I want to. So I'll keep those 2 flying symbols and re-roll these other 3.
Good choice.
No, and in fact it's got worse because I've now got an explosion symbol. But I can burn another charge in that and do the same thing again.
I see. There you go.
Okay, there we are. So I finally made it. Okay, so that's there. Now, if I carry on again, I'm only going to have 3 dice.
And you need 3.
And I need 3 to fly. However, I have this extra options. Play. Oh no, I'm not on the ground. I can't play that now. Okay, so I'll just have a go.
Note.
No, that didn't do it, but it's not a catastrophic anything.
So you could use your lucky locket again.
Yeah,
or
I could.
You could burn that extra fuel there, because there is this rule to do with fuel rules, which you can discard 2 fuel to pass a takeoff or a flying test.
Not a landing test, because throwing extra fuel at a bumpy landing.
Yeah, let's not go faster into the ground. This is a bad plan.
Yeah.
So
okay, so I could do that. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm here. And now I will land. So I have 5 dice for landing.
And you need 2.
And I need 2. Yes. Because I am a helicopter.
Yes.
And I
Easy.
have lots. So I land safely. I get those points. I get 1 fuel back because I landed safely. I get to deliver both of my mountain cargoes. And there we go. So that's the end of my
all the crowds flock past my burning plane to applaud you.
That's how you're supposed to do
That's
it,
how you're
see?
supposed to do it.
Yes. Your turn.
Okay, I have a cunning plan. So I'm going to attempt to fly on. So I will use 4 die. There. I think I've got it. So
Yep.
I need 2 because of my goggles.
Yep.
So I will fly to here. I will land because it is a time space and I have a cargo for that.
Yep.
So I get 6 to try and land. And I need 4.
3 because of your goggles.
Yep. I get 1, 2.
So, things you could do. You haven't got any landing spare parts. You might have a card that helps you.
Do over.
Okay.
So play this card when you have failed a test to reroll as many dice as you wish.
So, you've got the landing symbols on those 2, so presumably you're going to re-roll
Keep
the other
those
4.
And reroll 4. Needing 1 more.
And
There
there
we
we
go.
go. Easy.
Yep.
Okay. So you have landed.
Yep.
You've landed safely. So you get a fuel back if you had used any, but you haven't
Yep.
used any. You get to
I
deliver
get
your
my
cargo,
delivery,
You
and I
get
get
to-
to pick up the extra.
and that's a water cargo, and you've already got another water cargo. So that will
Exactamundo.
be a double thing along the
So
way.
I could score 10 points in my next turn.
Yep. Indeed.
So that was 1 to fly, 1 to
One to
land.
land.
My turn is over.
And
New
a
card,
card.
please.
Okay, so we check the weather. There is no change to the weather, so nice and steady. Right, so I'm in a mess. Let's face it. So the only thing I can do at this point really is to do a repair and scavenge action. So if I
so you can fly along with 1 damage, but with 2, you
Yeah, you
can't
can't
go
really
anywhere.
do
Yeah.
So if I do a repair and scavenge action, I can take a fuel cube. Well, what happens is I remove all the damage, repair the damage. So all of that goes into my score because these are -1 victory point
Yep.
each. I get a fuel cube back for free, and then I can take. It says 2 to 3 fuel and/or spare parts. Now what we need to do is look at this little cogwheel symbol on the board.
So
here.
the cogwheel says
yes,
you can
okay.
do 2 of those here.
Yes.
Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm not far from the airfield here actually. So I'm going to take definitely a spare part in case I need to get in the air, and I'll take a fuel. Okay. So that's my repair and scavenge action. So for my second phase, I'll try and get up in the air. I have 5 dice to do that.
Yep.
I've now landed, by the way, so this sugar in the tank
Oh, yes,
we
it's
can now
gone.
discard.
Worth it, though.
Because that's been sorted out while I was repairing everything.
Yeah.
I need to get 3 symbols.
He
for
got
the things.
flushed out with all the fuel.
I have 5 dice to get 3. So
I don't know, maybe there's a new engine in there.
Yep. And I've only got 1, so this is
Oh,
not
dear.
going well for me.
But
But
that's
no
not,
damage?
No
But it's
damage.
not catastrophic.
So you're on the ground. You've just failed
Right.
to take off.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use. I don't have any spare. I have a spare part. Actually, I have 2 spare parts there.
Yep, so you can
Indeed.
just
So I'm
use
actually
them
just going
and
to
get
discard
yourself
those.
up in the air, yeah?
I'm in the air. That's
That's
the end of
not
my
you,
turn. I draw a
that's you.
card.
Okay. So now it's my turn. I am on the ground, so I need to take off. Now, I could do repair and scavenge in order to get extra bits, but I don't particularly need to. So I'm just going to take off 5 dice. I have 1 takeoff symbol and I needed 3. So I'm going to use my lucky locket,
Yep.
the last charge on that, in order to re-roll everything apart from that one. So I'm rolling 4 dice more.
Ooh, no good, and you take damage.
Well, except I have a St. Christopher.
Right. So what the St. Christopher does is it means that she can't catastrophically fail tests, but it still counts as a failure. So she takes the failure consequences rather than the catastrophic fail consequences.
So with taking off, you just haven't managed to take off, but nothing's blown up or fallen off or
No.
anything
That's
else. Okay, but that is the end of my turn. So
Yep.
I've had 2 goes.
You've had 2 phases.
And I haven't done anything?
Right, indeed. So you've not now. So she's neither ended up at a higher altitude than when she started, scored any points, or moved on. So she's not made any progress in the game. So she gets what we call a luck token. And luck tokens give you an automatic pass at a single test at some point later in the game.
That
as
could
a
be
bit of
very
a bonus sort of compensation.
And
I
I'm
like
also going to play this card, extra options. Oh no, I'm on the ground still. Store any 2 spare parts here, and so I'm going to do that. I'm going to have one of those and one of those. So they're around for when I need them.
Fab.
Okay, draw a card, end of my go.
Alright, I will roll to take off for. I have 4 dice, and with the weather, I need 3 successes. I get 3 successes.
Yeah,
Excellent.
yes.
So I go up. I'm now going to try to fly, so 4 more dice. I need 3 to move along. I get 2, but I will burn a spare part. So I will move to here.
And that's you.
Liz will try and do a trick maneuver.
Oh yes, indeed. You still have spare dice, so you could do it.
And here I only need 2 to pass it.
Yep.
Which is pretty
Your
good.
goggles, yeah.
And
Yes.
I pass.
You got it.
So 2 more victory points if you please.
Okay. So then what would happen is that you discard 2 dice and you've only got 1 left, which means you can't try another trick maneuver. You could try fly on.
Nothing else. Now I will have to discard.
So have your new card and then see what you want to throw away.
Right, so we're at the start of my turn, so I get to check the weather.
We're coming up towards, yes.
Discard this.
It changes over the field spaces.
Which we've only got 1 so far. We can see back there, which is probably not going to be massive.
Yes,
we haven't
can't-
revealed
we
this
can't-
yet, so we just changed that one there. Probably not going to be relevant because people aren't probably going to get back that far.
Yeah,
But
now, because you guys are here, do we reveal this?
we do over the airfield. It's reminding us, so that's affecting the weather over the airfield. So I'm now in the air, and I'm looking. I'm lining up the airfield, thinking, well, let's see if I can get there and grab that first stage leading points.
If you wait for a second, I'm playing a dirty trick.
Aha! Right.
This is actually the perfect trick for right now because it is called Bribe Official.
Right. Okay.
Place on a terrain tile until your next turn. No cargo or passengers can be loaded here.
Right. So you're going to place it on the airfield, are you?
I am indeed.
I can still get there. I can still get my points. I can unload things, but what I can't do is grab any of that loot, and other people might be able to come along and get it before.
Neither of you can.
Yeah. So neither of us can until your
Until
next
the
turn.
next turn.
Until his next turn. So
Which doesn't
basically,
bother me because I'm on the ground, so I can't land again
Yeah.
anyway. But for
indeed.
you, that's a bit of a thing.
that's a bit of a thing. But anyway, let's get on with things. So I am now needing 4 to fly on with my 6 dice, with my nice new fuel without any sugar in it, and I will roll to see if I can get the 4 that I need. And I've got 2, 3. I have 2, 3. So what can I do? Well, you know what? I only need to get to that airfield, so I'm going to burn my 2 fuel cubes
Yep,
to
that's
pass the
fair
test. And sort of mosey on in on bingo fuel.
Yep.
And now I'm going to go for a landing. So actually, I've got 5 dice left, haven't I? So let's show off to the crowds a bit while we're at it. And there is 4, and I'm needing over that airfield.
Yep.
3.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 2.
Good choice.
Okay. And I might as well do it again, to be honest, because I'm down to, I've got 3 dice, and so I think I'm feeling confident about this. Let's give it a go. But this time that didn't go so well.
Fail.
So I got me 2 points, but now I take the consequences of a failed manoeuvre, which catastrophically failed manoeuvre. Is there anything I can do to help me there? Alas, no. So I'm basically going to fail to perform the manoeuvre, and I'm going to take a damage marker, and I'm going to be forced to land. Now that's not so bad there because I'm going to
Land anyway. But
I
he still gets the points for being the first one to the end of the stage because this is the race element. He's the first over the line, even if it's a bit of a
I get 5 dice, so I'm down
thing.
safely. Yep. So I get the 7 points because that, so I'm currently I've got that for leading the race. I can deliver my cargo. Actually, I haven't got any cargo to deliver. Well, I can't, and I could at this point to grab 2 bits and bobs. I can deliver the passenger. But what I can't do is grab any of those cargo or passengers that are there at the moment because of that bribe official card that's in play. But what I can do, though, it doesn't say that I can't change equipment, I don't think, does it?
No.
So let's have a look at these cards here. These
You can't load any more passengers or cargo,
These
basically.
are spare equipment that's available for us loading up. Now, I've used all the charges on my universal spare parts here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this anyway, and I'll discard it, and I'm going to choose one of these things.
So you got 6 things to choose from. The catapult launcher, which is something that for one use only, it lets you take off and move to the next space. So it's good for moving yourself forward if you've got a bit behind in the race.
Yep.
The national flag does nothing, but if you carry it to the end, you get 5 points. So somebody like you with lots of storage might go for that.
Yeah.
The shotgun, so if that's another obviously dirty trick item, you get in the same airspace as people, you can fire at them.
Yep.
Extra cargo capacity, 1 internal and 1 external storage.
Yep.
Damage repair kit, so when you have the explosions,
Well,
symbols,
I'm going to take that actually, because look at the damage I've got.
Yeah, you've taken quite a bit.
And I'm going to actually play that immediately to remove all the damage that I've got. So these go out of the game.
Now it shows 2
do you want to use it now, or do you want to hold on to it, because you can use it later?
Sorry, you can use it later. Indeed, yes. And as regards that, I think it's any amount of damage. I'll double check that in a moment. I'm going to keep it at the moment, because if I get more damage, I get a chance to mop it all up.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And so I'm going to go with that. And I think for how long I've landed, so that's the end of my turn. So I'm going to take a card and discard.
Right. So now it's me. So I am on the ground. I think what I will do is I will take off. It shouldn't be difficult.
Just before you roll that dice, I'm going to play this card, which is a thing we haven't seen so far in the game. You may have seen, I don't know if you've got any of these at the bottom of your cards, Justin. These little symbols that look a little suspiciously like a moustache, which is indeed what they are. These are little CAD symbols, we call them. And if you play that on someone that's just about to roll their test, then they lose a dice for that one test.
But you have to carry on with the test. You can't not do it. So
you
I
have to wait for that moment when they've said, right, I'm going to go for it, and then play the card.
Okay, so I'm only rolling 4 dice then.
But you still only need 2, which is not bad. Ooh, feel.
And I've only got 1, so it's a good job I played that card last turn to get that extra spare part for takeoff. So I am in the air. And now I am going to fly on. So I have 5 dice for flying. And I need 4. Yes, lots. So that's fine. And I'm going to stop there, because I'm going to want to land on the middle airfield and pick up some points if I can.
Yeah.
Your turn again. That means this card has now done its bit.
Yeah. Now I have a bit of a quandary. I can land where I'm at and sink 13 victory points, or I can try and blitz on and get across and land before you.
There is another lake there, further on, another water space.
There is, but then I have to carry it, and I'm
All that
foregoing the 3 points. But I will get 4 points if I can land here. So I think I am going to begin cranking up the engine and flying a little faster. So I need 2 successes to fly on.
Yeah.
I get them. And I then lose a dice. I'm going to use my drop of courage to buy myself a dice back. And I will try to fly forward again. And I only... Oh no, I need 4 there. So I've got 3. So I'll spend a spare part to move forward. And then I'm going to land. So landing, I get 6. So a bit of a madcap dash to get there. And I need how much to land? Just the 1.
You need 1, yes. So easily done.
And I'll grab that. And now I can have my pick of everything that's on the ground there.
Yes, and you can do that now. So what are you going for? We have, now these, we have 2 passengers. You want a passenger?
What are the other things?
These are general cargo. So once you get to the middle airfield, any cargo you pick up from now on needs to be delivered to the final airfield.
I see.
So if you're going to not be in front in the race, obviously, it doesn't end when the first person lands. It ends when 2 people have landed. The other person has 1 more turn. So, so if you pick up that cargo, but you could pick up 2 passengers if you wanted. There's nothing to stop you.
I think what I'm going to do is pick up 1 passenger. So 1 passenger will go to my internal slots. And I don't think I really want to grab anything else in there, because these are only worth 2 points now, yes?
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to leave that alone. I'll let you guys maybe...
Do you want to swap any equipment? You've still got 2 charges on that. Are you feeling that you want to change anything? The goggles have been quite handy.
The goggles are great, but I think I can drop the finely tuned engine. Now, were we meant to draw an additional one here?
Yes, we do.
Took one, so everything moves up.
Now, the only thing you have to think about with the finely tuned engine is that would mean you would lose the extra 1 dice.
So your bonus there with your 1 dice, that's going.
Yes, but I have quite a few spare parts.
Okay, so you're feeling...
So I will discard that.
Yeah. Okay. So
and I think I actually need to make myself a little faster, so I will take the...
Those are extra dice. Well, you've got 2 choices actually doing it. Those are extra dice for passing flying tests, but you've got a permanent +1 to extra dice all the time.
The +1.
Okay. So now you need an actual symbol that reflects that, which we should have here. Here we go. So I'll give you that.
Thank you kindly. I will put that on my card here.
Yep.
Which will make just getting ahead of you in the race a little quicker.
Really easy.
Okay. So, that was you landing. That's the end of your
turn.
I
landed. I gained an additional 4 VP.
And we should have turned the weather over there, and actually it's sunny.
Yes. Ah, this is good.
So, now, do I bother landing? Is there any point in my landing? There's no points to pick up, but A, I haven't got much fuel. B, I have used all the charges in my lucky locket, so I think I am going to land because there are things I can do on the middle airfield. So there we go. I'm a helicopter. I only needed 2. I've got 3, so I land with no difficulty, and I am going to... I've got 2 landing spare parts courtesy of somebody. I don't really need those.
It could be almost anyone.
Yeah. So I'm going to get back 1 fuel. I am going to take that passenger. And
there are additional cargoes there.
There are additional cargoes, but there's also spare parts to consider. And I think when you're on the middle airfields, you can do a repair and scavenge action.
I forgot to draw a card.
For free.
This was part of your takeoff test.
So I will be able to get some extra spare parts when I take off. In the meantime, I'm going to look at this equipment, and I think I'm going to have the national flag because it gives me lots of points at the end of the game.
Once she gets there.
Providing I get there, yes. Okay, so that was my landing. Now I'm going to take off. As part of that, because I'm on the middle airfield, I can do a repair and scavenge action, which means I can take some additional spare parts. So I'm going to take a couple of flying symbols as the most useful things for me. So that happens anyway, and now I have to actually take off. And that's fine, I'm in the air.
Right, my turn then?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to begin by taking off. So I will roll 3. And I need just the 1, so it's nice and easy. Yep, I get 1.
Yep, you got the 1.
So you're in the air.
In the air. And then I'm going to start flying forward, which will grant me 5 dice now, which is great. I needed 2 because of my goggles. I would then lose a dice, and I can continue on. Or do I want to? Yes, I will continue on. I get 5, so I get to here, and I will lose a dice. Oh, and this should be revealed. And this should be revealed, yes?
Yes, yeah.
So I would need 3 symbols to do that. I am going to sport about for the crowd, needing 3. I get 1, however, I have all instinct, gain 2 spare flying parts to use at once, which gives me my 3.
Yes,
That's fine.
And so I will gain 2 VP.
Right,
And
so
lose
you've done
2
your
dice.
And you've done your trick, so you
Yep.
get your 2 points for that.
Yep. Okay.
I will end my activation there and draw a card.
Okay, no. So we check the weather. The weather changed over the water space.
Yep.
There's one.
Now, I have a dirty trick for you. Saw through the wing. A flying machine has one less die for all takeoff tests until completing a repair and scavenge action. Here you go, buddy.
Okay, that's
Just
fun.
for you.
Okay, now I am on the ground still, so I'm likely to be doing that more or less immediately.
It's more to force you to do it.
Right. Yep. Okay.
Because it wastes a phase.
It does indeed.
Yep.
Although, of course, you're on the middle airfield.
I am on the middle airfield, so I'm going to get that. I can do that for free. On the middle airfield, you can do a repair and scavenge action for free. Without using up a phase.
Should I see if that?
So I would
You
save
might.
that one for
Not a
some
problem.
relevant nasty time.
Because it's got a flying symbol on the bottom there.
Okay,
handy.
so in fact, I'm going to do
Very
repair. In
useful.
fact, I'm going to repair and scavenge anyway. I'll have a think about the damage repair kit later. So that gets me fuel back. I'm going to take 3 more things, which clearly I need because I'm not got much here. So I'm going to take off on a landing symbol. And actually, I'm very low on fuel here, so I'm probably going to take an extra fuel. Not doing too well here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in the air, and I'm going to. I've got, let me see there, 5 dice to do that. Yep. I'm needing 2. Now, while I'm on the ground there, I do have the choice though of grabbing anything that's left before I take off. So I might as well have a couple of those cargoes because I can pop those in my. For some reason, I'm sure there were some passengers when I arrived. I don't know where they've gone. I haven't managed to book them. So
They're flying Aer Lingus.
so there we go. So that's got me in the air. And I'm going to fly along. I want to make the best of that passenger seat. So I'm thinking of landing up here fairly soon, really. So I'm going to do my 6 dice to fly along.
Now, would I have scored my passenger whenever I landed there?
You landed in a town, didn't you? Yes, indeed. So that could have been dropped off straight away. Yes.
That's fair enough.
So here we go. I roll, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep.
Sounds
Only
fine.
need. Yep. So I move along. And I'm thinking about. You're looking like you're heading towards a town there or something, or maybe the water area. Do I risk it? Is he
10
gonna-
points.
There's 10 points. I think he's going for
13
that. So I'm
actually.
going to push on towards the town because there's more points to be got by landing there, and more stuff. Well, some more stuff there. So I've only got a 1. What do I need?
To fly, you
Yeah.
needed 2.
Oh dear, that's not good. Oh, there we go. So I will use the 1 symbol plus this spare part that has a flying symbol on the bottom. That's a shame though, because it's a grumpy passenger card, which would have been a nice dirty trick to play on somebody. But
Yeah.
so I passed the test. I've gone 2 spaces, so I lose the fuel, but I'm planning on doing something about that next turn.
No, I went 2 spaces, so I should have actually lost
A couple of
2 fuel.
Yeah. And I draw a card. That is the end of my turn. So James, go.
Okay, so I'm there. I'm going to fly along. Or not. So I have got 1 and I needed 3. So what can I do about that? Well, not a lot. I haven't got my lucky locket anymore. However, I have 1 flying symbol on the bottom of this card, which I shall play,
Yep.
and I also have a spare part, so that's now used that one up as well. So I've now passed that test, and now I'm going to try and fly on again with 4 dice. Fine, I've got all of that, so that takes me to there.
If we just take a moment, your microphone needs a little adjustment, so if you want to pull it up and re-clip it up there.
Disappeared.
Oh, it happens sometimes. We have been playing for quite some time.
Yes.
There you go, perfect.
Okay.
Now we can continue. Where were you?
Okay. So, what did I just said? I said I've just flown on, haven't I?
Yes, you have.
Okay. Right, so I still have 1 more phase to go, and do I? I've taken off. No, I was already in the air, so
Yep.
I've just flown on. I am now going to land in that
It's
city
going to beat
square.
me to the points. And things. Can't do anything about that. Let's have a look.
It does
That's
happen.
not. Oh, that's not.
Okay, so 5. Oh, look at that.
Oh, wow.
All landings. Absolutely
Can't
great.
argue with that, really, can you?
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's excellent. So I am
Put
going
it down
to
right in the town
land.
square, actually.
I am going to take those 2 victory points for the first to land. I'm going to deliver both my passengers who had a very enjoyable landing. I'm going to, now I used 2 fuel, but I get 1 of them back immediately for that. And I can pick up another passenger there. And I can also pick up 1 piece of cargo. You can only pick up, you can't pick up everything. The early versions of the game, you could swoop in and pick up 4 or 5 pieces of stuff and it would all go. So there are limits, but I can certainly take those 2 things.
Okay.
And I take a card, and that's the end of my go.
Okay, so at the beginning of my turn, I'm going to play Force Down. So, Richard.
Yes.
Because you're in the same space as me, I am forcing you to immediately take a landing test.
Right, okay.
Because there's a lot less value to being down there now, I'm making you waste a few.
There is. And I was contemplating whether to try or not, but I've not got the option now, so
yes.
That's 4, no, yeah, it is 4 dice I'll be rolling. I'm needing, 5, due to the sort of fog over that town.
Well, you're going to land somehow.
I'm going to land one way or another. And oh yes, so it's 4 there plus a spare part.
So you've made it.
I need everything to get down, but I get down.
Okay.
That's not your go, of course.
It's not my go, but you still follow through the whole consequences of the landing, which
So
is
you
a
get a
fuel
fuel.
cube back.
This is fine, but it's making you take more time
is.
because I need both of you to
but
take
there's nothing
a lot
else
more
there
time.
to grab. I could get the cargo, but I've already got 2 cargo in my hold,
Yes.
and I really need this space desperately for spare parts. So I'm not gonna do that. So anyway, that wasn't my turn. So the rest of your turn.
My first phase, I will fly on. Needing how many?
Let's have a look.
3.
3.
And I have 3 there. So I will fly onto here, lose a die.
Oh, look at the weather over the mountains.
It's a lightning storm over the mountain.
Wowie. I'm going to sport about for the crowds because I can. I only get the 1.
Okay. So
However,
maybe you can't.
I do have 2 spare cards.
Do.
So I will gain 2 victory points for that.
Yep.
And then for my second phase, I will land with 6 dice. And I need 4.
5. Oh yes, 4 because of the goggles. Yeah.
Goggles are
The goggles
good.
are really good.
Oh dear. Oh dear. This could have went horribly wrong. I only get 2. I have no spare parts.
But
you do have nothing in my hand.
You do have the drop of courage left with 2 charges, so you can buy extra dice.
So you
I
can
will
use them
buy
one at a
2
time.
more.
So you can do it one at a time. You
Okay.
can buy 1 dice first and
Okay.
see how that goes.
I'll buy 1. I get 1 more.
Yeah.
I'll buy another. Don't crash, don't crash, don't crash. Stick the landing? Nope. Didn't stick the landing.
Nope.
So I fail and I take a point of damage.
Unless, how much fuel have you used? You've moved 1 square.
Yes.
But this is the landing he's trying to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he can't use his fuel to help him get down.
Quite, because
So
too much fuel
that
not
is a
good on
catastrophic
landing.
failure. Yeah.
Yes, so I will take 1 damage.
You'll take 2 damage, but it's a catastrophic failure. Yeah.
So the landing test.
Yes, 2
Bumpy
damage.
landing, take 1. Catastrophic, take 2.
You
Boom,
don't
boom.
get the first to land markers,
Yep.
but you can deliver your nice water cargo there.
Which is 10 points.
10 points, and you could grab the rest of those two
I think I will.
bits there.
Now I can grab some
the
spare parts
general
while I'm
cargo.
at it as well.
That takes a phase to do a repair and scavenge action.
So
see.
when you take off, you could choose to do that first before you take off.
Yes.
I see. I then only get 1 card.
Yep. Right. Let's check the weather. So the weather changes over the airfield, but we
Final
we don't know about
airfield.
the final airfield. We're not at that point. We'll change it there because there is a faint chance somebody might get moved about that far. It's unlikely, but let's just do that. And now it's my
While
turn.
I'm on the ground, I can change out the equipment, so I could drop my
No,
drop
you
of
can only
cards.
change equipment to the middle airfield.
Ah,
Or
I
the equipment
see.
cards on the middle airfield.
Because the
Understand.
idea is at this point in time, you know, other places would not have stuff, but an
I see.
airfield would.
Of course. Okay.
Right, so I'm probably going to do a repair and scavenge action because I'm thinking I've only got 1 fuel, so I'm going to struggle to move particularly quickly. So I will get the 1 back for free. The number of resources there is 3, so basically
Because
I
it's
can
a town,
I
so
can
there's more
take
stuff.
two more of those, and I'm going to mainly important thing here is to be able to get in the air. I think so. I'm going to take an extra takeoff symbol. So that was my first phase. Okay, so for my second phase, I'm going to get airborne. So I need 3 because of the fog over that town. I have 5 dice. So I will roll that. I have got 3, which is what I need.
Yep.
So I get into the air, I take a card, and that's the end of my turn.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm on the ground. I need to take off. I could do repair and scavenge and get extra bits, but I think at this point in the race, I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to try and take off, which I managed to do. And then I'm going to gain altitude because I think I want to head to the final airfield, and the weather is atrocious. So I can do that, use a whole phase, and I am not going to have to take any tests for it. It just uses that.
Oh, the one thing you haven't noticed, you've only got 1 fuel, so you're going to be running along quite slowly. So that could be a bit of an issue for you.
Maybe.
Yeah, but we'll see. Okay, so it's your turn over. So draw a card.
Okay, so now because I have 2 damage, I am forced to take a repair and scavenge action, yes?
You are. So you move those 2 markers into your score thing, where there will be minuses, and you then get for free a fuel cube.
So
and
1 fuel.
That mountain has 2 resources in it, so you can take 2 of the things. They could be fuel, they could be spare parts, or a mixture. Now you're going to need 2 fuel to get to the final airfield because it's 2 spaces away.
Yeah, so can I take fuel, yes?
You can take fuel or spare parts or a mixture.
Okay, I will just take 2 fuel.
Okay, makes sense.
And then I will try to take off.
Okay.
So I need 4 to take off,
and
I have 3 die. Now I'm going to keep that, and let's see if we can do this. Oh. Nope, fail.
So you fail, but not catastrophically failed. You've got a spare dice. You could burn 2 fuel to get in the air.
He's got spare parts.
I've got spare parts, so I will burn them to get myself up.
In the air.
Yes.
So you're there.
Up we go.
So that's the end of your turn, I think?
Yes, so I will take a card.
So let's check the weather. The weather changes over mountains, which that lightning storm's hopefully going to go away now and be replaced by a bit of windy weather. So that's a bit more pleasant. Right, so I'm now in the air. I've got plenty of fuel, so I'm thinking I'm going to try and push towards the end here. So first of all, I need to fly on. I've got 6 dice, needing to get 3 symbols where I am at the moment. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so plenty, and more. So that's me there. So I lose a dice. I'm going to go again. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm needing 3. So I'm still fine, so I'll move on. Oops, that's
me.
That's you. I'll move.
I'm not complaining.
I lose a dice. I'm now needing 5 symbols because the mountains with a bit of wind over it is getting a bit problematic. But I'm going to give it a go.
Give it a go.
Now I've only got 2, which isn't good. That would just end my phase. But I've got a card here, which is Reserves of Luck. And play to use a luck token to use when you wish, which I might as well play it straight away.
Yes.
And a luck token is an automatic pass on any single
so you get to
test.
move forward.
So I move forward.
And you have to land there.
And I'm gonna be landing here, needing two symbols. I've got 3 dice left, so I might do a final trick manoeuvre just to show it to the crowds on that final airfield, which I'm fine. So I get me 2 points there. And then I go for my landing, which I've got 4 dice, needing a 2. And there I am.
Make it.
Just about.
Land.
So I'm down. I take the 8 points.
Uh-huh.
I deliver any cargo or passengers I've got, which are those there. And at that point, actually, I'll use my damage repair kit, which repairs a couple of these damage markers.
Just the 2, yeah?
I'm trying to remember if it's all or 2, but we'll say 2 for the moment. And just,
not a problem.
I'll check that later. It's only 1 point in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's my go. I'm in the air. As you pointed out, I don't have much fuel, so I'm going to have a slight change of tack. I have one general cargo that I haven't delivered, but that doesn't matter so much because there's no minus points. I just won't get those points.
Yeah.
I'm actually, now it'd be nice if I could just land again and drop off my passenger, but I can't because that was where I came from.
Yeah.
So they're going to object to that. So I'm going to have to fly on. So fly on easily. So that's what I needed. And I'm actually going to land on this square in order to get some fuel back, hopefully, and get those first to land points.
Would be 5, but you're a helicopter.
I'm a helicopter.
Helicopters are very handy.
Yeah, so it's only, so I'm rolling 5 dice, and I only need to get 3.
Interesting.
2 plus 1 for the weather. I got the 2.
I got 2 damage.
I just didn't get the 1 for the weather. So what can I do about that? I have a.
But you only need 2. You're a helicopter.
She needs 2 plus the weather.
Oh, I see. So, it says max 2 for you. Does
for the terrain.
The terrain part of it.
In the same way that your goggles help with weather, but not with terrain.
Gotcha.
Helicopters help with the terrain, but not the weather.
Got it.
Because they still can get blown around by lots of wind and so
But
on.
I do have a landing spare part on the bottom of that card, so I shall play that.
So you get
So
down
I
safely.
land safely. I take those 3 points.
Yep.
I also get a fuel cube, and I only moved 1 square, so I didn't use any fuel.
But now she's got enough fuel to get to the end, hopefully.
So that is the end of my go, and I'll just take a card.
Okay. I'm going to be playing 2 cards right now to try and help me to get to the end. So number 1 is full power. Roll 1 extra die for every test this turn.
Okay.
The other one is burst of speed. Roll 3 additional dice for each flying test in any one flying phase.
Lots and lots of extra dice.
Yep. So I've got 4 bonus dice. So I go from 5 to 9 dice to try and fly to the end.
Okay.
Because I do not want to fail. So flying along, I make it.
This one.
And this is why I did it. So I drop 1 dice. I still have 8 to try and get 5.
Yeah.
Oh my word. That went horrendously wrong.
You got 1, and you got 2 explosions. So what can you do about that? Well, you've got a spare part.
I can.
And you've also got fuel. You could.
But she's going to need to burn 2 fuel to move the 2 spaces. So that won't help him because he's going to. Yeah. So then we'd only have 1 left, and that wouldn't be enough.
Anything on a card? No, you've just used your cards.
Yeah.
No, it's all gone badly wrong.
I've blown my beans.
So you take a damage marker onto your fuel gauge onto the right hand side, and you're forced to do a landing.
Bend that and then do a landing.
Now the only good thing about that is that there is 4 points up for grabs if you can make a convincing landing with your 6 dice.
6 dice.
And you're needing 5.
I can see the finish line. No. So how many did I need to land?
You needed 5. No, 4 because of your goggles.
And I got 4. So
Yeah,
I
there you
have
go.
landed.
So you landed well. So you got
4
1
VP.
1 fuel back.
So I will get a fuel back, which is fine.
And actually, that's all you need to. You don't need any fuel to get to the next thing because it's just taking off and flying. So actually, you're okay.
Right, so that's your turnover.
Yeah.
A card, please.
Now check the weather. So the weather is going to change over towns. So that's back here. Let's do that. Now I'm on the airfield, so I get what are called final airfield actions. And final airfield actions are on your card there. I'll bring this into the screen if I can do it.
Sure.
So we're looking at this bit down here, and I have options here. So these are things that you can do if you get to the end of the race when you're waiting for everybody else to finally catch up. So I can do what's called make good. So I can take off. I can take a takeoff test to discard 3 damage. We use the same sort of skill, points here, dice to do the rolls for them. But I've only got 1 damage left here, so I'm looking at maybe giving a flying lesson, for which if I can hit a 3 on the test plus any weather, which there isn't any affecting flying tests, then I'll get 3 victory points. So I'm going to just give a flying lesson to somebody.
So on the final airfield, you can do any one of these, but you can only do each one once. So if Richard was on there for 3 turns, he could work through that. But then after that, you're just collecting.
So the final option is to give a speech, and then after that, you're just signing autographs basically for points.
This is quite nice.
Right. So I'm needing a 2, and I've just got 2, which is enough. Yeah. So that's 2 victory points there. And you only do 1 action. Sorry?
3.
Oh, 3 indeed.
Don't shortchange yourself.
Charge, thank you. So 3, but I only do 1 action on the final airfield per phase, but that's me done. I draw a card because you never know, there might be some little bonus from somewhere or a chance to do
Okay, so now it's me.
Taking off.
And I am taking off.
Yep.
And I am taking off. Am I? I
Weather,
needed.
3 you need. So you got 2.
I needed. Yes, I needed 3.
Yeah,
I
you
got 2,
and
I've got
3
2 of
damage
those.
on
Oh
there.
dear, I think your engine just blown up. You could use your fuel.
However, I have my St. Christopher.
So that would just mean it's
Yep.
a failed test, not a catastrophically failed.
You
So
could
So I
use-
just-
You could use your luck to just get up in the air. because
That's
it's so
a good
close.
plan, actually. At this point, I will use my luck. Okay, so I'm up.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I want to fly on. So that is 5 dice. Yes,
Yep.
and I have enough for flying on. And then I want to fly on again.
needing 5. Oh dear, there's only 1 there.
That St. Christopher's is a lifesaver.
Yeah, that just means at end of phase rather than
Yeah.
engine blown up.
How many
Yeah,
did
or
I
being
need to
forced to
flying on?
You need 5.
5.
You've got 1, 2. You've got 3.
I've got 3 and I've got 2 more here. So actually
Right.
I can do it.
You can do it.
Interesting.
Okay.
So I'm there.
Cards and things.
And now
So you
that's
took off and flew.
and
Yeah.
flew, and so that's the end of my turn.
Excellent. Draw a card.
Yep.
So I will try and take off with 3 die,
Yep.
needing 3.
Needing 3.
Note. Sitting there puttering away on the ground.
Okay.
Try again.
So you could try again. You've got no spare parts. While you're on the ground, by the way, you've got spare parts in your internal
So
hold.
you could have just moved those
So
across while you
you
were
can
on
always
the ground.
rearrange them whenever you're on the
So
ground.
we'll pretend that you did that,
Okay.
because we should have reminded you.
Have you still? You don't think you've got enough to get to 3, have you? With what you rolled before?
No.
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 So, but they're available. So we'll give it another go.
Fine. I'm up.
Yep, you're up this time.
But that is both of my phases.
That's your 2 phases. So you get another card.
Thank you.
We check the weather. We've actually gone through the weather deck once, so we give it a quick shuffle and things, and then take another card. And that's a change over the mountains,
Which is
where you are at the moment.
relevant, because that's where you are.
Ah, it's sunny, nice weather there.
Excellent.
So I'm going to do a landing test, which is basically giving a speech, just you standing next to my plane, and attempting
how I
to.
did it.
This is how I did it. I need 3. I've only actually got 2. No spare parts, so that's just a failed test. So it's not a catastrophic failure, so I don't take any consequences. But I'm going to play this card, which is the fast repairs, which means I can repair any damage. That final damage marker that I had can be thrown away there.
Yep.
Okay, that's the end of my turn.
Okay, so I'm in the air and I'm wanting to land. So that's fine. I've landed. The joys of being a helicopter. So there we go. So I grab those points. And I deliver my passenger and my final cargo, and I brought the national flag home to the final airfield as well. So that's that. And so I draw a card. Now you have 1 more go, and then it's the end of the game.
So
Right. So I am going to play I Know This Region. So
Okay.
all tests you take on a single terrain tile require 2 less symbols to pass. So the flying on, I will require only 2,
Only 2. 2
which I
off
think
5.
is the best thing to do here. So I will roll my 5 dice, and now I only need 2,
Yep. Let's have a look.
which
Yeah.
I get.
And there we are.
So
Right.
I fly across.
And now you need to land.
Yep, for 6 dice, needing 2. And I fail. I do not feel I have a landing thing there for my last card. So I
you're
will
down.
land,
So then you
discharge my cargo.
Yeah. And now we just count up points. So,
Excellent.
and scoring up is really easy at the end of the game. So the national flag, and then I just add up the points here. So it's 5 for that. Then I have 2 passengers, which is 3 each. I've got 3 passengers, so that's 9, 14, 16, 17, 20, 25, 27, 29, and 39. Not bad.
8, 32, 34, 37 points minus 2 damage.
So that's 35.
And I'm on 40.
Wow.
Okay. So
I had a feeling I needed to target you.
Mainly thanks to getting there first, really.
Yeah.
I didn't get as many of the other points as you guys got, other stuff along the way. But I managed to just sneak those two, I suppose.
So that's a tester for this game. So we've played with the presets, which even things out. There are actually 18 pilots in the full game, 6 different types of machine, lots of different equipment, and it's really a matter of what your style of play is. Lots of different things for everybody.
This was really fun. I love the tactical depth of this game. I like that there's no dice rolling, there is no randomness to the game. It is all just how well can you leverage what you're doing, and that is great.
Well, you are dice rolling, but you're...
Oh, Zova, my brain. It's been a long day. I'm sorry.
What you meant was it's not just roll the dice and that's what you're stuck with. There's lots of ways to mitigate it. That's the
Hi, everybody. I am Justin. I just had a brain fart on a live stream. Enjoy the giggles.